Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 932nd Rome Total War Brother game that I've put onto YouTube. And what a great battle I've got for you today. As you can see, this is fought on another one of our custom map, one of our flat custom maps. And as you can see, if you look at it there, we've got the big open plains that you can fight on in the open if you want to, or if you want to bring barbarian troops to get that woods bonus, you can, just like Fesen here has got his Britannia troops, so if he fought in the woods, he would get the woods bonus. So it's an interesting little map, and I like the combination of big open plains and the woods as well. Okay, our first teammate is an RTW player called King Adnan, who is now a Brotherhood member called Sultan Adnan. He's our newest Brotherhood member, and he has got 10 infantry, 4 archers and 6 cavalry. Okay, 10 infantry, 4 archers and 6 cavalry. As I say, he's the newest member of our Brotherhood clan. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and oh my gosh, 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So that will be a tried and tested Sultan Adnan army. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Royer 35. Now he's got 14 pikes and 6 chariots. Yes, 14 pikes, 6 chariots, no archers. If you notice there, he's got 7 upgrades on his pikes, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack, and as I say, got 14 of them. And looking at the chariots, once again, I know we talk about this a lot, but I think it's quite important. The chariot's got a big fear factor, big attacking specifications, but of course, if they run amok, as we've seen in so many of our videos, they kill both friend and foe alike, and strangely seem to be more powerful in amok mode than normal mode. So I always say to players, if you want to bring chariots, really think about it. If you're not competent or confident, they can be a real double-edged sword. So as I say, I always say to people, really think about them before you bring them. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Fesen, who has bought his secondary faction of choice. I notice he plays with Britannia quite a lot now, and he's got 8 chosen swordsmen, 6 head hurlers, 1 druid and 5 chariots. As I say, his first choice is Rome, but Britannia is his second faction of choice. You notice there he's got 8 upgrades on his chosen swordsman. Now remember, these chosen swordsmen have got the same morale as urban cohorts, excellent morale, and with those kind of upgrades on, you'd be surprised on how tough these Britannia chosen swordsmen can be. And then you've got the druids. Now remember that most barbarian units are low morale units, so to bring a morale boosting unit like a druid unit is a really good tactical move. As we know and as we've seen in so many of our battles, morale is so important. Okay, and then we've got the infamous head hurlers here. Okay, you can see that guy, that one there carrying a headlet, showing you that head. These heads are effective against armor and can be absolutely devastating. Okay, but of course, if the head hurlers haven't turned the battle in that team's favour by the time they've thrown all their heads, you just got light infantry. There you are. Can you see how they carry the heads on their belts there? Okay, and as I say, they can be extremely effective. There with those effective against armor heads. In this particular battle, we've got 6 head hurlers max, and I believe it's 6 archers max, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, here you can see you've got the Britannia chariots there, and he's gone for the barbarian warlord chariots. Now we've talked about this before. You've got 2 lots of chariots in Britannia. You've got the heavy chariots, which are about 580 denarii with 3 hit points, or these barbarian warlord chariots with 5 hit points that are over 1,000 denarii each. But I've tried them both over the years, and I would always recommend these barbarian warlord chariots, and they don't run amok. I'll just repeat that, they don't run amok. When they rout, they just leave the battlefield like any other unit. And pound for pound, these are supposed to be the best chariots in the game. Okay, so 5 hit points and over 1,000 denarii each. But as I say, it's supposed to be the best chariots in the game. And our last teammate is myself. Spartan Commander's got his very old Roman army of 15 infantry and 5 cavalry. Okay, so there's our team. I suppose reasonably diverse there. I suppose we got Rome there with King Adnan then. And then we got Pontus there with Royer. Then we got Britannia with Fesen, and Rome with myself. Should be a good one for you to watch. And here is the other team. Just to let you know that RTW player Adamski, a lot of newer Rome Total War players would have never heard of him. I was talking to him on Steam recently. He hasn't played Rome Total War for over 10 years, but when he did play it, he was like a lot of us, addicted to Rome Total War. Every time I used to go on there, I used to see him in the lobby, and he was really addicted. But as I say, he hasn't played for over 10 years, but I've been speaking to him recently and persuaded him to come back onto Rome Total War just to see if he can kind of relive the glory days of when he used to be playing a lot on here. Now, Adamski's got the bog standard old school 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. As I say, the main reason I do these videos is to actually try and get ex-players back on the Rome Total War, or encourage new players who can see what a great game it still is. So as I say, Adamski's got 14 infantry, 6 cavalry. He hasn't played for over 10 years. He's really worried about being rusty, but I always say to ex-players, once a good player, always a good player. But as I say, he was very worried about being a bit rusty. So we just have to see how it goes during the course of the battle. Our next teammate is an RTW player called Zeke. Now, to my knowledge, he's never been in one of our games before, but I've seen him in the lobby a lot, and he tells us that he can play 31k. He's played it a lot in the past, and I see his army is 10 infantry, 4 archers, and 6 cavalry, which is kind of like a modernish 31k Roman army. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. I'm probably guessing 7 upgrades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 7 upgrades. An experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So it'll be interesting to see how Zeke does during the course of the battle. Their next teammate is someone who's called himself Bravo, but is in fact Greek clansman Leonidas, and he has bought the Egyptian faction. Now, Leonidas has got 10 bowmen, pharaoh bowmen, 4 spearmen, and 6 chariots. Okay, so he's bought a lot of firepower there with 10 pharaoh bowmen. I thought the rules were 6 archers max, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong there. There you are. You can see these guys. See the upgrades he's put on. There's 7 upgrades: an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Now these guys have got long range. They got really good defense. And when they run out of arrows, they make really good light infantry. And I think most people would consider these pharaoh bowmen as the best archers in the game. And he's got, as I say, he's got 10 of them. And then he's got his chariots here. Okay, now these chariots, they bring a fear factor, good attacking specifications, but they don't, just repeat that, don't run amok. So that's Greek clansman Leonidas' Egyptian army there. Be interesting to see how he uses it during the course of the battle. And their last teammate is IOW Esrax. Once again, a lot of newer players to Rome Total War might not know Esrax, but he's one of the old veterans of Rome Total War. And once again, I was talking to him on Steam, and I've persuaded him to come on and have a few games with us. As I say, the main reason I do these videos is to try and get ex-players back on the Rome Total War, and of course attract new players. You know, because once you see how good this game is, you know it's going to keep you playing it, hopefully. So, as I say, Esrax have got the old school 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. You see, of course, his cavalry are hiding in the woods. But it's nice to see these ex-players back on the Rome Total War, and I'll still keep communicating with them to try and get them back on. You've got Rome, Egypt, and Rome for their team. Should be a great battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it with these old ex-players playing. Okay, this very, very early stage of the battle here, you'll see that Bravo, or Greek Leonidas there, has brought his Egyptian long-range pharaoh archers forward here to try and target Royer's chariots. Make no mistake about that. Now watch out, because I've got a feeling that Bravo here will shoot fire arrows. You can see he's moved a small contingent of his Egyptian army forward in the woods, but you can see his allies are a long way away from that small contingent, so he needs to be careful he's not caught there. Can you see how IOW Esrax here has spread his infantry formation out? You don't see that very often, and he's got infantry hiding in the woods as well. That's an extremely wide infantry battle formation there for Rome. As I say, you don't see that very often on the modern day battlefield, and I just wonder whether he's going to move those Scipii infantry forward to support those Egyptian units in the woods. Now watch out, as I say, for fire arrows here, because as a lot of you might not know, fire arrows can panic chariots and make them run amok. So my guess is he's going to fire fire arrows instead of ordinary arrows. There you go. Can you see those fire arrows going in there? If I just pause the game for a second and zoom in a bit, you'll see that's exactly what Bravo's doing with his Egyptian troops there, is not shooting ordinary arrows but shooting fire arrows into those chariots, as I say, to try and make those chariots run amok. And of course, if those chariots run amok, they'll kill their own men. So that's what he's trying to do there, and Royer's doing exactly the right thing in backing his troops off, away from those fire arrows, especially those chariots. The last thing he wants is those chariots to run amok in close proximity of his pikes. So remember, fire arrows for chariots will make them run amok, and ordinary arrows do more damage. Okay, so there you go. You can see there the Egyptian general there has forced Royer back. But if I remember, in this battle, Royer seemed to be very, very aggressive. He seemed to be in a very attacking, aggressive group. There you are. Can you see he's stopped retreating now, and he's decided that he's going to attack those forward Egyptian units there that are in the woods. You can see Royer throwing all his army forward with the leading edge of his chariots there in the attack. Just look at those chariots, going to smash in to those Pharaoh bowmen. And get ready for this, because when they hit, they're going to hit hard. And bang! As they smash in to those Pharaoh bowmen here. Oh my gosh. Right, now how unusual is this? You're seeing Pontus chariots fighting Egyptian chariots. How rare is that? You don't see that very often, do you? So there you are, Pontus chariots fighting Egyptian chariots. Also, you'll see the Pontus chariots there chopping down those Egyptian Pharaoh bowmen there as well. So there you are, you can see Royer attacking, and the leading edge of his attack, he decided to charge his chariots in there, and you can see it's a real chariot on chariot battle there. I'm not sure, I would think the Pontus chariots might well beat the Egyptian chariots there. And as I say, you can see all those pikemen moving in as well of Royer. But there you go, you can see there those Pontus chariots really doing a job on those Egyptian bowmen and those Egyptian chariots as well. As I say, very, very rare to see Egyptian chariots fighting Pontus chariots. There you go. Very rare indeed. And there come the Pontus pikemen as well. He's throwing in. So those forward Egyptian units that Bravo brought forward, I'm guessing most of them have now been taken out by that really aggressive charge there by Royer 35. As I say, it's unusual to see Pontus used in such an aggressive attacking way. Most people that use Pontus usually go defensive. So that was a really out-and-out attack. I notice he's backing his troops off now. He's done the damage that he wanted to. I think he's taken out most of those Pharaoh bowmen. And look at all the chariots as well that has been taken out. All those Egyptian chariots have been taken out as well. So he did a lot of damage there. And once again, look, he looked like he was moving back, but he looks like he's charging forward again. And I remember in this battle looking over on that right flank and thinking how aggressive he is really being with that massive Pontus army. Remember those 14 pike units are 121 men per unit. So you can see the sheer number of infantry there that he's got moving forward there. And notice once again that the chariots are the leading edge of his attack as he moves forward there. And my guess is that IOW Esrax is either going to pull back. Okay, I notice he's pulling his cavalry back, which of course against the chariots is a good move. But I'm just wondering whether he's going to move his infantry back, or whether he wants to get those Pontus pikemen in range of his pilers, so he could do a lot of damage to those pike units before they even get to hand fighting. So it'll be interesting to see what IOW Esrax is going to do. And there you are, he's decided he's going to pull his infantry and cavalry back a little bit there. As I say, IOW Esrax hasn't played for a long time, and he hasn't played regularly for many years. So as I say, nice to see him back on the RTW battlefield. Here over on our left flank here, you'll see I'm moving my SPQR army forward towards the green Brute army of Adamski. And over on our far left flank, you'll see that Fesen has positioned his aggressive attacking chariots there. And used correctly, as we've seen in many battle videos before, chariots can be a battle-winning force. If I can pin and hold those Brutii infantry with my SPQR army, he could charge in with his chariot, so we could get a mass rout going, possibly. Might be something to look at maybe a little bit further on down the line in the battle. Right, can you see here that Esrax has now decided to move his infantry forward? And as I say, what he wants to do really is to get in range of those Pontus pikemen that are extremely susceptible to any kind of missile damage. Can you imagine the damage that Esrax could do to those 121-man pike units there with his pilers? Plus you got this Egyptian archer unit here, chariot archer unit, shooting arrows into those Pontus units as well. So as I say, Esrax may well be looking to try and get his urban cohorts near those Pontus pikemen, just to cause them a lot of casualties before any hand-to-hand fighting. And over here you'll see an Amok chariot of Royer there. Must have bumped into a routing unit of those Egyptian bowmen, and that'll be cutting them down. As long as the Amok chariot stays away from our armies, that's fine. The last thing you want is an Amok chariot running through your troops, cutting them down. But as I say, you can see IOW Esrax here moving his infantry slowly forward. And as I say, he's got a lot of pilers there that he'd love to throw into those Pontus pikes just to weaken them before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting. Be interested to see what Royer does here. I think if I remember right, he does the Pike Wave. Those of you that haven't seen the Pike Wave before, can you see that? See the Pike Wave? Pikes going up and down. They call that the Pike Wave. A bit provocative. It's like kind of saying to the enemy, come on then. It's kind of just a little bit provocative, that, the Pike Wave. You don't see it often these days, but it used to be used quite a lot as I say, a bit of a provocative gesture to enemy troops. As I say, it's kind of saying, come on then. And you can see Esrax now getting closer with his urban cohorts, getting ready to throw. Oh no, you can see Esrax is now backing his infantry off. So not sure what made him back off there. And as I say, over here on our left flank, you can see I've moved my purple SPQR army forward once again, heading towards the green Brutai army of Adamski. You can see here that King Adnan, or Sultan Adnan, as his name is now when he joined the Brotherhood, has got his army there. Now can you see he's got his battle formation, his infantry battle formation in one straight line. And you might think to yourself, well, that's weird, look at this old-fashioned battle formation of mine, and then look at that straight line, very unusual. And just to say, if you look at that straight line of infantry, it gives him incredible flexibility with his infantry. Many years ago, 15, 16 years ago, there was a Brotherhood member who did exactly the same. He presented his infantry in one straight line and said that it gave him so much flexibility on the battlefield rather than use like kind of old-fashioned battle formations there. So it'll be interesting to see how King Adnan does there with that infantry battle formation there. And as I say, if I remember correctly, Royer was incredibly aggressive in this battle with his Pontus army, unusual to see. So we may well see him charge Esrax's Scipio army a little bit later on, which could have some interesting effect. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you'll see here that King Adnan is now moving his SPQR army forward towards the enemy Julii troops there. Big aggressive move there by King Adnan, and you'll see our Pontus ally on the other flank is moving forward as well. You'll see that I'm moving my SPQR army forward at the same time here. Okay, but as I say, in this battle, Royer was really aggressive with his Pontus army here. And as I say, you can see King Adnan there wanting to keep up with him. But over on our right flank, once again, you'll see that Royer is charging forward again, using his chariots as the leading edge of his attack there, as he moves his Pontus pikes forward. But because Esrax has got such a wide battle formation here, I think he's going to move infantry units on the flank of Royer, and maybe even get infantry units in behind Royer's pikes there. So Royer needs to be careful he's not attacking like into a trap, if you see what I mean. Okay, you can see there's going to be a lot of pilers. Esrax has already thrown loads of pilers into those Pontus pike units, weakening them there. And there you go. Can you see, just as we thought, Esrax is now bringing his the flank of his wide battle formation units around the flank of Royer there. He may even well get units in behind Royer's pikes. Those units there will hold and pin Royer's pikes. Well, Esrax then, he's got even units over there he could move in on the flank possibly. And as I say, those units will pin and hold the pikes while he gets these units in behind Royer's pikes there. So Royer needs to be very careful. It's okay being aggressive, but I think Esrax was anticipating this. And even though Esrax haven't played for many, many years, he was a really great player of his day. And, you know, when you faced him, you knew you were in for a big battle. Really good tactical player here. And as you can see, he's got those Scipio units in behind Royer's pikemen there. Really nice trap there, I think, by Esrax. Here you'll see King Adnan there charging forward, routing some of those enemy Julii units. Nice cavalry hit there by Adnan. But here you can see the Julii cavalry counter-attacking there. And I can see that there's some Britannia, I think, head herders in behind Adnan's troops there. And there you can see a lot of cavalry going in there, like, and bang! As they smash in there. You can see the Brutii cavalry looking to come in. There's the head hurlers there, look. So they'll be starting to throw their effective against armor heads into the enemy troops. And make no mistake, they can be, you know, kind of battle-winning troops, actually, with those effective against armor heads, causing the enemy so many casualties there. As I say, when those effective against armor heads start hitting the enemy, they hit hard. Right, so here you can see a lot going on here. You can see my SBQR army moving into the enemy Brutii troops. Here you can see those heads starting to be thrown by Fesen's head herders there. Just look at that massive cloud of effective against armor heads heading towards the enemy troops there. Make no mistake, they will be causing the enemy troops a heck of a lot of casualties and maybe even causing units to rout. You can see King Adnan there charging his troops forward as well, trying to make the most of those the damage that those head hurlers can do. You'll see I'm charging my cavalry in here to help King Adnan there. And you'll see that my SBQR infantry is attacking the enemy Brutii troops in front of me. Now you can see there that Fesen's got his chariots out to our left flank, but the enemy troops have spotted that. And you'll see that Bravo here is moving one of his spear units forward. Remember, those spears will kill chariots really quickly. So he's moving that spear unit out to the flank of his allies there to protect them from any kind of chariot attack. I'm looking to do an old school, old-fashioned surge attack sometime in this battle. But here you can see the enemy really aggressively attacking King Adnan. And over here, as I say, you can see Fesen there has sprung his trap. He anticipated, I think, that Royer was going to attack, and he's positioned his infantry extremely well. They're very tactically, as always, there around Royer's pikes. I think there's a real strong chance we could lose on that right flank, and that will be the end of the battle. Right there you can see my SBQR cavalry charging in there, trying to help King Adnan there, and bang! As my cavalry smashes into that enemy Brutii infantry and enemy Julii infantry there. You can see King Adnan there looking to be very aggressive as well. I see he's charging forward with his infantry. The only trouble is his general looked a little bit exposed to me. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So, as I say, over here you can see that spear unit blocking Royer's chariots, but you can see that the Egyptian general, Bravo, has charged a couple of his Egyptian chariots in to attack Royer's Britannia chariots there. Once again, a bit of a scrap there. You don't see very often Egyptian chariots fighting Britannia chariots. And you can see that Britannia chariots have suffered some casualties, but they outnumber the Egyptian chariots there. So I'm anticipating here that the Britannia chariots will win this engagement against those Egyptian chariots there. Once again, rare to see those chariots fighting each other. And as I say here, King Adnan's general was a little bit exposed, I thought, and it has now been routed. Okay, he charged forward very aggressively there, but as I say, his general there, a little bit exposed and has now been routed. As I say, always try and keep your general as safe as you can, because that general morale bonus really can make a difference. Right, here is an old school, old-fashioned surge attack. See my SBQR infantry there, surging forward there. As I say, old school, old-fashioned surge attack. You don't see it very often. And you can see there that I've charged my army into Adamski's green Brutii army there, okay? And you can see over on our right, oh my gosh, what I feared happened has happened. Poor old Royer's entire Pontus army has now been routed by Esrax. And just to let you know that our right flank has now been smashed, crashed and broken. And make no mistake, IOW Esrax will look to roll us up from right to left. So well done to the enemy team. Sorry the battle wasn't that long for you to watch, but I just thought that was a really good, skillful use, tactical use of troops on that right flank. And as I say, it looks like the enemy's going to roll us up from right to left. So well done to the enemy team there. As I say, you can see my cavalry charging into that green Brutii infantry. And bang! As it smashes into that Adamski's green Brutii infantry there, as my infantry surged forward there. Okay, here comes the chariots of Fesen. Now, of course, he couldn't charge in because of those Egyptian spearmen there, and he'd have lost all his chariots if he tried doing that. But they're not fighting, but look at the effect they're having on enemy troops. You see that? Frightened by chariots. So we know that enemy troops' morale will now be dropping like a stone, frightened by chariots, that unit as well. Remember, when any unit is frightened by an enemy unit, their morale drops and they're more susceptible to routing. Okay? And here you see, oh my gosh, King Adnan's infantry is now being routed here by both Julii and Brutii cavalry. So things aren't looking very good in our centre. And as I say, the enemy will now look to roll us up from right to left here. So well done to the enemy team. I thought it was quite an exciting battle while it lasted there. So I say well done to the enemy team there. And as I say, here you can see Fesen moving some of his head hurlers forward once again there to support King Adnan. There, and you can see my infantry there still engaging the green Brutii infantry. I've pulled my cavalry back to lock and load it, and make no mistake, my cavalry is going to charge in again. I want to try and take out this green Brutii army if I can. Right, you can see my cavalry was locked and loaded. I've pulled the trigger. They're going in now, and bang! As they smash into those enemy Brutii infantry there. Oh my gosh, just look at the impact there that cavalry had on those enemy troops there. And it looks to me like I've killed two birds with one stone, as the old saying goes there, because if you notice here, I've routed the Julii general, and at the same time, okay, I've routed the Brutii general as well. So that old saying about killing two birds with one stone there, in that attack I've managed to take out or rout those two generals. Meanwhile, over here on our right flank, while Esrax is looking to roll us up from right to left, you can see that Fesen has moved his chosen swordsman and his chariots in there to engage Esrax, his Scipii infantry and cavalry. So well done to Fesen there with his Britannia army, really holding up Esrax there, stopping him from rolling us up from right to left as he wanted to do. Okay, over here, make no mistake, the enemy archers have been shooting into us for ages. They're causing us big casualties, all these archers. Notice a lot of those archers are in close, tight formation for more impact and more damage there. Okay, you can still see a couple of Egyptian chariots. Make no mistake, they will be bringing a fear factor to the battlefield there. But as I say, you can see my purple SBQR infantry charging forward into those Brutii troops. I've routed a lot of enemy infantry there. But now I need to get my troops over to that right flank to help Fesen against IOW Esrax, his blue Scipii army there. Okay, that's where I need to now head all my infantry over to that right flank, as I say, to try and help Fesen there. He's got his infantry up against those urban cohorts. And you can see the chariots there, the Britannia chariots moving in as well. Remember those chariots, big attacking specifications, big fear factor. There's a chariots going in there. Bang! Now he didn't actually charge forward there with his chariots, but he's got them there just to bring the fear factor to the Scipii troops. He's going to charge, there you are, he's going to charge them in now. But so he's using the charge bonus of the chariots and the fear factor against Esrax now. And you can see I'm moving my SPQR troops forward over to that right flank now. I think, actually, to be honest with you, Fesen is doing extremely well there with his chosen swordsmen and his chariots against Esrax, his elite urban cohorts. And also you've got a couple of rallied Royers pikemen, Pontus pikemen coming in on Esrax as well. So that's good. King Adnan's got his archers there, got a couple of archer units shooting into the enemy troops. So what I need to do now is to move my purple SPQR army over to that right flank. There, you can see, I think King Adnan's got, if I remember right, I think maybe 3 infantry units left out of his entire army at this stage. I think that's, or maybe even 2 units. I know that he suffered massive casualties there. So as I say, I'm moving my army over to that right flank. Need to help Fesen there against those elite urban cohorts of Esrax. And if I remember correctly, I think some of Fesen's head hurlers still had ammunition left, but some didn't. If you have a look here, you can tell if you got ammunition. Right, so this head hurler unit has run out of ammunition because they've drawn their swords. Okay, but the head hurler unit by the side, can you see they're still carrying heads? So you know that they've still got ammunition to throw into the enemy, where this unit, who's drawn their swords, have thrown all their heads. So you can tell just a glance what head hurler units have got ammunition left and what haven't. And there you are, you can see there my purple SPQR infantry now moving towards Esrax's blue Scipii army there. You can see me moving forward there into that. And as I say, I think Fesen's Britannia troops have done extremely well there at holding up Esrax there and stopping him from rolling us up to right to left, which is what I think he wanted to do. Okay, there you can see my troops charging forward there. I'm going to go for the Scipii general. There can you see my troops once again surge attacking those Scipii troops there. And as I say, I'd like to take out the Scipii general, take the morale bonus away. Right, you can see I've got my cavalry here. I'm going to charge them in. I'm going to try and help Fesen a little bit because I'm going to charge on the other side of my army there where Fesen's troops are engaged with the Scipii troops. Now watch the impact of my tired SPQR cavalry as it smashes in to Esrax's Scipii infantry and bang as they smash in there. And look at the penetration of my cavalry there. So there you are, I've helped Fesen out there by routing a lot of those elite urban cohorts of Esrax's. I'm now going to change trajectory of my infantry attack. If you notice there, can you see how the trajectory is changing? I'm no longer going forward, I'm going to attack in that direction to try and take out all those Scipii infantry units. So as I say, changing trajectory of my infantry surge attack there. There you are, I've routed the Scipii general there as I move forward. So that's good news for us, and taking out those Scipii troops that I've attacked. And it looks like, unbelievably, after losing our right flank, our team has managed to go on to win this battle. Wow, what a turnaround from earlier. And if you look around, you can see it's quite a spread out battle there. I think Adamski's only got a couple of units. You can see there's some enemy units left, but it does look like our team has managed to go on to win the battle. And if we go all the way over here, this is where we saw the Britannia chariots fighting the Egyptian chariots. I just want to show you look at the carcass of an Egyptian chariot in comparison to a Britannia chariot. There you can see lots of dead there, but if you look, can you see the carcass of that Egyptian chariot there? It looks quite posh against the carcass of a Britannia chariot. You can see the real difference there, can't you? The Egyptian chariot looked a lot kind of, if you like, as I say, a little bit more posh, didn't it? Over here you can see the dead here, where the battle really was intense across the battlefield. Here you can see a lot of purple and green dead there as you move across the battlefield. Lots of cavalry and infantry dead integrated there on the battlefield. They move across here. It's just like a carpet of dead. As I say, whenever you see our battles, you can always tell where the most intense part of the fighting was just by the massive piles of dead there. I mean, oh my gosh, just look at those piles of dead. Very, very intense fighting here. as we can see. And over here, if you notice, can you see how Royer's Pontus pikemen look how many have died? I can't see any enemy troops around them, so I think they died from pilot hits there, that little group. And then as we get further along, you'll see some blue dead Scipio troops amongst the Pontus pikes. But you can see if you look closely, it's mostly Pontus pikemen dead here, where they were killed by Esrax, is what I think was a bit of a trap he laid there. You could see that Royer really wanted to attack, so he hid some units in the woods and brought those units in behind Royer there. Good tactical move there by Esrax. But as I say, it looks like our team has managed to go on and win the battle there. Just a shout out to Fesen there. I thought he did really well with his Britannia troops in holding our right flank until I could get my SBQR infantry over there to help out as well on that right flank. Stop the enemy from rolling us up from right to left. And make no mistake, IOW Esrax would have been looking at that very closely. As I say, you can still see some enemy Egyptian troops left there. It's just... I always think at this stage of the battle is sometimes just, you can see the archers still shooting into us, but like at this stage of the battle where it's obviously lost, just best really to, I think, just admit defeat. Let's get back into the lobby and get another game going. That's what I think. Let's pause the game for a second here. So, I think if I remember, King Adnan just got about 3 units left. There you are, that one unit there, look, if I'm not mistaken, it's just got 6 men in. That's all that unit has got, 6 men. So that's the entirety of King Adnan's army there, 3 units. So that just goes to show how tough this battle was. There you can see Fesen moving some of his head hurler units. It wouldn't surprise me if he still had some ammunition left, actually. There you are, he's still got ammunition left. Look, throwing heads into those Egyptian spearmen and then charging a head hurler unit in there. You can see there that he's been alt-attacked with their swords out, attacking those Egyptian spearmen. There, very aggressive. You can see my SPQR army moving across as well now. And you can see my cavalry still attacking enemy units there. So, as I say, it looks like our troops, our team has managed to go on to win the battle. As I say, at this stage of the battle, I always think to myself, just admit defeat and we'll get into the lobby. Unfortunately, I think, if I'm not mistaken, just repeat that, all of Royer 35's Pontus army was routed. So all of Royer's army was routed. As I say, unusual to see Pontus used so aggressively as he was using them on that right flank. I mean, it was interesting to watch, but Esrax, I think, set a nice little trap up there for him. Let's just go on to triple speed here. And there we go. And just the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. It was nice to see a couple of old players back. A clear victory. Well, bearing in mind we lost our right flank, I think for our team to get a clear victory was pretty good for our team, really. I was thinking maybe average. So, as I say, as you saw, we lost our right flank there. So to get a clear victory, I think was really good. Highest kills in the game goes to IOW Esrax. Well done to Esrax there, getting the highest kills in the game. But as I say, when he used to play regularly, he was one of the best players on Rome Total War. Really good player. Well done to Bravo there, or Greek Leonidas. He'll be disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills, but I thought he played with Egypt quite well. Well done to Zeke. He got over 1,000 kills there, so well done to him. And well done to Adamski. As I say, he hasn't played for over 10 years. He was worried about being rusty, but I thought he played quite well. He'll be disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills, though. My kills, yep, not too bad. I suppose second highest kills in the games. Not too bad for me. That's pretty good. Well done to King Adnan. Got some good kills there with his army as well. So well done to King Adnan there, or Sultan Adnan, as he is now in the Brotherhood, a member. Fesen there did well with his Britannia army. I thought he played really well. And well done to Royer. He got less than 1,000 kills there. But he was very, very aggressive with Pontus. So really well done to him there. And faction advantage, we always like to talk about this. They've got Rome, they've got Egypt, Rome and Rome. So that's quite a good combination. We got Rome, Rome, Britannia and Pontus. So looking at the factions on both teams, who do you think had faction advantage? But the main reason I want to show this battle is because I put these videos on to try and bring ex-players back onto Rome Total War, as well as of course to bring new players onto Rome Total War as well. So to see Adamski and Esrax come back onto Rome Total War is really nice to see. You know, and I'd like to encourage other ex-players to come back on the Rome Total War. We still have really great battles, as you may see when you watch our battles, and it's you know, it'd be really nice to see ex-players coming back on, and of course new players if you'd like to join us on the RTW battlefields. Okay, Spartan Commander saying bye for now, and see you soon.